Hello and welcome to Don't Feed the Geeks, presented by the Long Island Comic Guys, the masters of the geeky verse. Well, welcome back, Geek Freaks. I am TC.
I'm JJ.
And I'm Toy Story on location.
And we have a new kind of new segment that we're going to be doing for you guys. We're going to be doing these monthly, and it's going to be called Buy, Sell, or Stash. And we're going to be each one of us is going to be picking a comic from that category. We think you should buy, we think you should sell if you have it, or we think you should stash, hold on to it for a little while. But before we get into those, what we want you to do right now is make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. You're subscribed to our channel. You tap in that little bell for the notifications so you know when we get new videos. And guys, there you go.
Ooh, nice.
We want to see those. We want to see those comments. We want to see interactions with you. If you guys want to see us do other stuff too, we're doing this new and exciting kind of shake up to our show. We hope you guys are enjoying it. But if you have other suggestions too, or if you're a creator or someone in the business who wants to be on the show, reach out to us. Active on our Instagram account and other places as well, or you can email us. But let's dive right into it, fellas.
Let's do it.
Who's going to do it? I'm excited. So we're going to start with our buys. We're going to do it in that order. We're going to go buy, sell, and then stash. So
I will start this off, man, because I'm really excited about this. I did a lot of research on this today.
Awesome.
So my buy for this moment at this moment in time is the Star Wars Darth Vader #1. And why do you say we should buy this one? Well, right now, this book, it's got the first appearance of the Black Chewbacca, and I'm going to destroy this name. It's Carsantin?
It's like Christensen or something?
Something like that.
Yeah,
it's his first appearance. He's a Wookiee bounty hunter, and he's rumored to be in the next Mandalorian season 3 season. This is him. That's him right there. But he is rumored to be on this.
I remember reading this and thinking he looked really cool.
Yeah.
Something else I heard. The rumor mill is that he is also a likely candidate for a new live-action War of the Bounty Hunters live-action series coming out. I'm not sure if you guys knew that, but that is something else that's on the block on this.
I have not heard that. It would make sense why they've been pushing that War of the Bounty Hunters series so hard.
Yep. So this book here, it had 8 variant covers. Some of these were great looking covers. We had 2 Alex Ross covers. This one here is what's that?
Sorry, I was saying there's only 8.
There's only 8 on this one. This was, so this one here, this is the Alex Ross, the 1 in 50, his color variant.
I remember that one.
Yeah, that one's beautiful.
Yep. Right now, raw, this is selling for about $100 raw. I did not see any CGC on this that was listed on eBay because I went through eBay and passed and everything else. I could not find any.
A quick question for you: Is this kind of the one to get out of all the covers?
No, the one to get. So there's two that I saw that were pretty high. This is the Alex Ross sketch cover. Yeah. This is the 1 in 200. This one here, I saw this thing go from 100 to 250. This one was all over the board. It was kind of strange, but there wasn't many of these for sale. I mean, I have this one, and I need to get this thing graded. Now thinking, when I saw it, I was like, I might have to get this thing graded. So this is a hot one, and so is this one.
That one signed by Alex Ross.
Yes, so this is the Alex. This is the store exclusive that he had on his website. This was only limited to 3,000. Raw, this is selling anywhere from $50 to $100. And again, there's not many of these things, so I'm a little surprised that this is selling for as low as it is. But I think, once word gets out, maybe things will get pushed up a little higher.
Absolutely, people should buy it.
Yeah. So. The one of the most expensive one I saw that sold was the regular cover, which would have been this one there, the regular cover. There was a 9.6 that sold just this past month, but it was signed by David Prowse and Hayden Christensen. and it was I guess it was an accepted. The guy listed for $1,000, and it got accepted. I don't know what it sold at.
Yeah, so
it
probably
didn't
a little
list that.
less. Yeah, best
That
offer,
was-
right?
Yeah, that was a 9.6 on that. But I was checking out the GP analysis on this, and it's so crazy. There's no consistency on this. It's all over the place. But I think it's a good buy right now, especially I'm not sure how much people know that the first appearance on this book.
Yeah,
I know. I think book 2 of this is the big the Doctor Afra. That's her first appearance.
So I mean I don't even know.
Yeah, that's her first. I think it's issue 2 of this series, and that's a big book. But
I mean, I think this whole series is pretty hot. But I mean, I think that this other Wookiee, like you're saying, could be really big. And
I think he's
really
cool. He's been in a lot of comic books. He's been in a lot of the Dr. Alpha books. He's been in this series a lot. So I think we're going to see a lot more of him, and it may push this book up a little higher. But you can get you can get a CGC of this book for about $150 for the regular cover. I'm sorry, for the regular cover.
Yeah.
Raw anywhere from $20 to $30, which is not a bad deal.
I mean, I would gamble on the 9.8 here. I mean,
why not?
Any 9.8s with first appearances under $200. I'm going to tell you guys, any first appearance that's under $200 in a 9.8, just buy it.
Just buy it. and if you can get one of these great looking, I mean, the Alex Ross sells, they resell really nice.
I really like
Alex Ross.
Alex Ross. I may try and pick up a 9.8 on that one.
But this is a great book. Good book to check out.
Nice. Good pick, JJ. So Toy Story, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, let's do it. So I'm going a little bit not doing a first appearance. So I figured that since right now first appearances are super hot, you can barely get your hands on most of them, going for something a little different. So my buy right now is Amazing Spider-Man number 5.
Oh, wow.
Featuring the first appearance of Dr. Doom outside of the Fantastic Four. Now, I think this is a great buy because, number 1, it's a single-digit Spidey, a Ditko Spidey. And number 2, Doom, we know he's coming. F5 has already gone insane, like too insane for most people to be able to afford right now, including us. So I think that his first appearance outside of the Fantastic Four, it's not something that people are after right now, but it's a cool first. And I've always loved this cover.
I need to upgrade one.
I've always loved this cover. If you have one in person, something about the colors, the way these were printed, the colors are much more vibrant than the other issues that came out around them. So
how does Dr. Doom's face look? Because I don't like the way it looks on this image, but I mean, does it look normal?
You can see his eyes a little bit.
Yeah, you can see his eyes. So this one, GPA on this one, and when referencing GPA, I'm going by the grades I have because all 3 books I have. So it's just easy to reference. So a CGC 6.0. 2018, the high sale was 1560 rather. 2019 was 1350. 2020 was 1440, and this year the high sale is 1700. So it really hasn't jumped much in terms of as Silver Age Spidey goes. Most of the other ones have gone crazy over the last 2 to 3 years. This one's stayed relatively stagnant. So I think it still has room to grow for what it is, And it's any of these in like 1 to 20 are never a bad buy, I think.
Interesting.
Very true. I definitely need to get mine pressed and graded. It's in rough shape. Again, one of the many that I got from Mr. Mike Cara, Untitled Tattoo.
So this is not one that you have graded, Tess?
No, it's actually the only I think single digit one I don't have graded. No, I'm lying. There's a 8.2 that I don't have graded.
So this would be an upgrade book for you eventually down the line.
I think so. Yeah, this is on that list for sure.
Cool.
All right, so I'll go next, and this one I feel like it's kind of a no-brainer. Maybe it's not a no-brainer. Maybe people aren't expecting us to say to buy it, but Shazam 28, and why should you buy this book? First of all, from what I found out, there might have been one other book that wasn't officially licensed to use the Black Adam character, but this is the second time you see Black Adam since the Golden Age. He was in like a book in like 1945. I think it was called Marvel Family #1. And then that was it. This book didn't come out until 1977. And, that's the next time you see him. And it was a while before you saw him again after that too. And we know Black Adam he's coming. He's going to be, I think they may have renamed him or whatever, but The Rock's going to be playing him. And this could, is it a little bit of a gamble because it's a DC movie? Yes. But I think these are still in the range. So let me put this in perspective for you guys. There's only 823 of these on the census currently. And out of those, there are only 39 that are 9/8s. Wow. I don't recommend buying 9/8s. The last one to sell in a 9/8 was in June for almost $7,000. Now, could this wind up being a $15,000 book if The Rock crushes this and the DC extended universe takes off? Absolutely. But I would say you want to roll your dice on maybe mid grades or raw copies, because those are still going. Like you can grab those up for like in the $200 to $500 range in like the lower grades. So I think that's a pretty big win. Even 9/6 sold in April for $1,400. You had 9/4s going for a little bit more after like those price hikes were coming. They're in like the $1,600 range. Those sold like this month. So I think it's a book that has a lot more potential. I wouldn't spend the $7,000 to gamble on it personally, but mid grade or maybe low high grade, I would bet some money on it. And unless you can afford the Marvel Family #1, and best of luck to you.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's our buys. Hopefully, some people can grab those and make some smart investments for the future. All right. So next, what are we dumping? What are we letting go right now? What are our sells? I will start this one off, and then we'll kind of rotate back. And this is going to be a real surprise for me, for you guys to hear this. I'm personally not going to sell this book, but I do suggest if you have it and if you're not a fan, DC Comics presents number 47. It's the first standard comic book. Let's put it out there. I know people.
I am shocked at this.
Yeah. Standard comic book appearance of He-Man and Skeletor. And so what is, CGC and all these key people who like to, report information. It's not just He-Man and Skeletor in this book, which is important to note, especially with this new series. It's also, I'm just going to cheat and look at my notes for a second. So you have Teela, Man-at-Arms, Battle-Cat, and Beastman also making their first appearances in this. So with this new series, Teela being a first appearance also is pretty huge. But, I feel like, and the reason I'm saying sell right now, there's a lot of these books on the census. There's almost 1,600 graded. There's 254 in a 9/8. So they're expensive. Listen, they're going for $2,600 right now in a 9/8 grade. I don't know if we're ever going to see a movie. They've been talking about a live action movie for almost 2 decades now, and we haven't gotten one. This guy dropped out who's going to be in the Black Adam movie. I think, this show probably peaked it, this new cartoon. Maybe it can get a little bit better if the second season drops and people think that's even more awesome. But if you're not a He-Man fan and, you have a high grade or even a mid grade, 6/0s to 9/6s, they're selling from anywhere to $200 on the low end to $1,000 on the high end. So if this isn't a book for you, I would kind of dump it. I'm never going to dump mine. It's going to get buried with me. So there's going to be one less available on the census after that. But, I think this is the time to let those go if you've been holding on to them for a while.
Sound reasoning.
Very interesting.
All right, who next? Me again? Are we going in reverse?
Yes, it's actually JJ.
Oh, it's my turn again. All right.
Okay.
So I think this is going to be a little kind of a shock to sell too, because it was just kind of not announced, but it's just starting to roll. But I think that this guy has a very limited lifespan. So my pick to sell would be Avengers 267, which is the first appearance of Kang the Conqueror.
That's not the first appearance of King, JJ, sorry.
Which one is this one?
This is like the appearance of like the many kings.
The many ones.
Yeah, I think first appearance of him is like 8 or 9.
Yeah. So this one here, this is for the multiverse, the first appearance of all of them.
Many Kangs.
The many Kangs.
Like that.
You know, you're seeing Raw on this anywhere from $20 to $30, which isn't a lot of money. There are a ton of these out there. You do have newsstand editions. You have a direct edition, and they're not selling high anyway. You know, I think this guy here has very limited. I think after the series is done, you're not going to see this guy in a movie. I don't think they're going to bring. They may mention him, but I don't think they're going to bring him in a movie. I think he's right. I mean, what do you think?
Interesting.
I'm sorry to interject there, but he's actually already been announced for the next Ant-Man movie.
Is he? Oh, see, I didn't know that.
So what I'm gonna add to this is I think he's probably gonna be your next Thanos. I think people are gonna be all about it until he dies, and then, you know, I think, you know, people are gonna have a hard time selling that book a little bit, or, you know, everyone's gonna be looking to sell. I do agree that this book specifically, a lot of people have it and are selling it. So
the last
now might be the time to sell.
So
because people are looking.
There's a bunch of these out there. So I know. So the last sell on a 9.8, which was in May of this year, was $175.
Yeah.
Which, you know, still probably a good reason to buy it. It's, you know, it is kind of like a first appearance, but not. But what I found strange was a 9.6 sold in July for $4.99.
Yeah. Well, it's I feel like everything kind of like after April had really like started to rise.
Right.
And I'm sure like that person who bought the 9.8 on this can easily drop it for like $500 right now. So more reason to sell it, especially since it's not like the number 8 or 9, which everyone's like really trying to like hunt for right now and dig for. I definitely had one of these. This was in like the collection I sold best, but I was like,
there was a 9.4 that sold for $203 in July also. And these were those two, the 9.6 and the 9.4 sold on eBay.
This is like a 70s or 80s book, right? I think
actually this is 86, May of 86.
Yeah, so you know, this is really one you want to have in high grade and dump in high grade, I would say.
Yeah, you know, the raws are, you know, you can get a newsstand for $45, anywhere from $45 to $60. There was a direct edition. I think the directs were probably harder to get because they were selling a little higher, close to 80 to 100.
I think the directs, and again, we'll just save this for another day, but there's a lot of information people need to become educated on between the newsstands and directs. I think we had scheduled that at one point, but we never got into it. All right,
there you go.
What about you, Toy Story? What do you got for your?
For myself, this is kind of an obvious one, but I definitely think it's a sell. So mine is Tales of Suspense 52, featuring the first appearance of Black Widow. Now, a couple reasons. Obviously, the movie's out and done, and she is, spoilers, dead, but also maybe not. I don't know. Now, CGC 7.0, the GPA from the last couple of years. 2018, the high sale was 1385. 2019 and 2020 was around the same. It was like 2200. And this year, recent sale, 3250.
Wow.
So that's jumped quite a bit in the last couple of years. Now, this is a major silver key. I mean, it's always been very popular, and what I've noticed is it's very plentiful in lower grades, not so much in higher grades.
Yeah.
If you have a higher grade one, it might be worth it to keep it, but I think anything around the mid area, I think you've seen all your gains on this book, at least for the most part. I mean, this isn't even, like, it says Black Widow, but like that's not the Black Widow we know. Also, you know?
Right. Yeah, I didn't even think she gets that costume until like I think Spider-Man. There's a Spider-Man issue where she finally gets that like black tight and like gold costume that we're
exactly. So with the price increase that we've seen already, combined with, I never really considered this the Black Widow that we've seen on screen and everybody knows and loves right now. You know, I think it might be a good time to dump this one if you made money off of it already.
Even if she does come back at some point after her legal implications.
There you go.
All right, that's a good pick. All right, so let's move on to our stash. So hopefully if you have some of those, maybe sell them, maybe make some money. If you know it winds up selling for more down the road and you get mad at us, hey, you know, this is not a verbal contract or something like that. How about you just follow that up with your stash there, Toy Story?
Yeah, let's do it. So my stash is Thor 165. First full appearance of him, parentheses Warlock, as they say on the CGC label. So this is a little confusing with this character. We've had this talk a bunch of times, like what's his actual first appearance? Because it's like a couple books that he appears in different versions. It's that Marvel Premiere 1. It's the one of those FF books. But CGC recognizes first full appearance of him, Warlock.
Yeah. This is like one of the most frustrating ones out there for like what the appearance is. And I think you and I were looking at this like directly. I was like, all right, which Warlock book is actually selling for the most? And I think, this is the one, right?
Yeah, it is. And I think this is the most iconic cover, and it's also a great cover.
It's a great looking cover.
It's a Kirby?
Yep.
It looks like, yeah.
So, does his name appear in the book itself, or is it just him?
I don't know if it says Warlock.
Actually. I think Marvel Premiere 15 or Marvel Premiere 1 is actually the first time maybe the Warlock name is used. And again, please don't quote me on that. I think that's what the case is.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah, so CGC 8.0 on this book, 2019, the high sale was $750, and 2020 was $725. This year, $1,500.
Yeah.
So it's gone up quite a bit. I mean, double, but it's still in the mid. You could still get a pretty nice copy for a relatively decent price. So I think that this one, if you have one, I don't think it's time to sell yet. I don't know if I would go out and look for one right now because it's kind of dicey if he's going to appear in. People think he's going to appear in Guardians 3, but we don't know yet.
Yeah.
So maybe stash it just until we know a little bit more.
They're definitely keeping it tight-lipped on when we're going to see him and who he's going to be. Like people were convinced it was going to be. Who's that High School Musical guy?
Zac Efron.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I think James Gunn pretty much shot it down. He goes, if I was looking for a Zac Efron type, I would just hire Zac Efron. I was like, so I guess, we'll see what happens from there.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to kind of follow you here with another Tales of Suspense book. And it's Tales of Suspense 50. You probably know this book. This is the first appearance of the Mandarin. Now, this is a pretty rare book. So I'm on the census research I did, and again, this is only one grading company. There's only 794 of these graded on the census. Now, listen to this. Out of those 794, only two have been graded in 9/8. That 9/8. One of those 9/8, it was a Pacific Coast pedigree, and it last sold in 2014 for over $15,000. 7 years ago for over $15,000. One of the two. I don't even know if the other one is a pedigree as well, but I'm assuming it might be. So this is a book very hard to find in high grade. I think the most recent, highest grade issue that sold within the last 5 years. There was one this year, a 9.4, and that sold in March for $9,000.
Wow.
So this book is hot. I mean, obviously people are very excited. He's been confirmed as the villain in Shang-Chi. His book's been kind of in the dumps ever since they did that terrible Iron Man 3 with the really bad Mandarin. But now everything is trending upwards. I don't think now's the time to drop it. I think at least after Shang-Chi. But I'm hoping Mandarin has a big role. He's always been one of my favorite, very underrated villain. But there's some recent high grades from the 6.0s to the 8.0s. That's where a lot of them sit. And those are in the $12,000 to $3,000 range. I wouldn't jump the gun on those because I can see that being ticking up to $2,000 to $5,000 range real quick. So I highly recommend holding on to this book, especially, the higher the grade you have it in. But it's a great book. I mean, I've been kind of looking for one, but it's just I haven't wanted to pull the trigger on any. So, if anyone has one out there, reach out.
I like, and that's got good yellow. I like the yellow.
Oh yeah, I love the Tales of Suspense books. I don't know what it is about the Iron Man. It's the same thing. I think Toy Story. You love the Flash covers. I love the red and gold. It's just it pops really so cool. Much. I love the Flashes too, but highly recommend if you do have this one. Hold on to it for a little bit longer.
Good stuff.
All right, JJ, you want to close this out for us?
I'll close it out. And I'm going to close it out with one of my favorite characters in the Marvel side of it. His counterpart on the DC is my absolute favorite. So what my stash is Submariner #1. Here we've got, I mean, right off the bat, it's a very iconic cover. It's one of my favorite covers. I actually own one of these books graded. But here we've got the first Namor in his solo series in the Silver Age. And this is basically his origin and stuff like that. There's quite a few of these. There's a few of these.
Great cover.
I mean, there's quite a few of these things. A lot of them are not in the best of condition. The last sell on this, which was June at the highest, 9.8, was $10,200.
Wow.
In June of 2021.
What do you have, a 9.0 on this?
No, I have a 7.0 on this.
Oh, I thought you had a 9. Okay.
No, I have a 9 on the one where it's him and Iron Man.
Yes,
it's another iconic cover.
Yeah, I think that's the Tales of Suspense or something.
Yeah. 9.6 in May sold for $5,200. A 9.4 was $35.73 in June. And I have a 7.0. Last 7.0 was $870. I paid nowhere close to that, which is great. There is somebody sold a reader copy on eBay for about $200.
Wow.
Which is interesting, but you can get right now on eBay. There's a 6.0 on eBay right now for $601, and there's a 3.5 with a buy it now for $445, which is interesting. But again, this is a great cover. I think with his he's rumored to be in the next Black Panther 2, so I think this is going to go up even more. It is trending up, so I mean, it all depends upon how well it does in Black Panther 2.
Yeah, and I think what's the first Silver Age? Is it the Fantastic Four 5?
Yeah,
and 4. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, like that one's already ridiculous at this point.
You can't touch it.
If you have that one, like I would just sell it now. I don't even know if I would hold on to that because so many people want it. This one, I think I agree with you. Kind of like it's one that I think has more potential, and like this is a good one to stash if you have it, especially like you're saying at those higher grades. I think once you do see him, especially because the cover is so awesome, I think people are gonna be like, yeah, like that Fantastic Four is cool, but like this is definitely the better cover.
And on this cover, you do have the Fantastic Four on it anyway. I mean, you got Reed Richards, you got the Thing in the background, so I mean, you got them anywhere.
It's great.
But it's a great looking cover. It's one of my favorite covers in the Submariner, line.
Awesome. So awesome picks, guys. I think I pretty much agree with all these books in these categories. So, let us know if you picked any of these up, if you sold any, if you're holding on to them, if you want to share it with us, we'd love to hear it. Hey, if you think we were wrong, let us know. Say, hey, you guys
you're
know
wrong.
what you're talking about. It's like, all right, we love the banter. So that's it for us for this episode. Is that nice, quick and sweet, or something like that? Yeah, short and sweet. There you go.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's it. So until next time, remember,
don't be the geeks.